Sure. So they are what? In that box. Will it make any sense? Or no meaning? Okay. Now the process of picking. Okay, this part is this one. This is this. And at the end of the day, you count this, and count that. When you've been able to do that little array and billions and zillions of data are adding up every day. Now, there is need to have a specific methodology that will be used to process this data that can make meaningful use for them or can use them for meaningful things. Okay, so that process of transcribing that raw format you have into information is what we call what? Data analysis. Okay, data on their raw form is useless. To make them meaningful, we convert them towards information. But how do we convert them to information? That's the data analysis process. Okay? So we want it in different areas. I don't think there is no walk of life. There's nothing you are doing in this life that will not constitute data. It's not possible. Or does anybody have any area that they feel that data is not important to them? No area. Okay, can you give me an example where data is useful? Any example, yeah. Whether it's in international relations or local relations. No, where is useful. Just no. If you can give me where it's not useful, I appreciate it as well. Or let's have where it's useful. The data is useful. They are football. They are sports data analyst. Okay, you as a footballer. No, you. Well, get the point first. What I'm trying to do. If you're talking about you as a footballer, why is data not useful? Okay, let me get your own part before I say my own part.
Because I don't think I need them.
Uh, why is Ronaldo counting 850 goals? This one can't. He needs that data now to self-improve himself now. Hmm? No, he needs it to. Why? What's the motivation again?
That's when you are comparing me with someone. That is when it's useful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But to me, personally, for me to perform,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
useful for me.
Okay, now let's look at it as an organization. In sports, is data important?
Yes.
So, if you are bringing it to that stand, if you are bringing it on personally, a lot of things will be useless now. If you are bringing it for me or personally, a lot of things. If you are saying, okay, for me, somebody may say beans is useless. That's an abomination, but beans being useless. Okay, so if you are looking at it at that standpoint, a lot of things will be useless. What I'm saying now is, in a concept of applying the process of transforming raw figures to information, I want to look at areas where you can tell me that, okay, in this area, you don't need to pick numbers and make them information. So those are the areas I'm looking for.
An examination. No, I think
Yeah, it's useful there. Yeah, it's useful in that case. So is there any place that is useless? I want to get that particular area. Like, is it useless in health sector, in business sector? Yeah, 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 yeah. Is there any sector? Is this very rare? Henry, market women. You are looking at them as you are looking at it as local market women, but they still need it now. They take stock of things they sell and sort of that. So it's useful for them. So the truth is, I don't think you can figure out anywhere data is useless. That calls for the whole concept of being able to bring out different tools and techniques to bring out information from those data. Okay? Every single area, whether it's, even artists, these music artists, they have data analysts too, as well. Okay? In places like health, you have data analysts, health data analysts, you have research analysts, business analysts, financial analysts. There are so many of them. So every area that has data has to make meaningful of that data. That's where the whole thing comes in. Okay? So I want us to understand that first concept, that data, to start with. So now, this is what I was illustrating here. Okay? In the raw format, there is data, right? So when it's processed, organized, structured, and all that, it is now what? Information. Okay? So that's the in between. What happened here was data analysis. That's how we move from this to this other part. So I think I illustrated it there. Now, very important, or one of the most important things we encounter in data analysis is the types of data we have. Okay? So what I usually do is I would like to give you an understanding of that primary or that pivot area of the program. The pivot area is data. Okay? If you understand data very well, okay, you can understand how to manipulate them and analyze them. Okay? In a long run, in most cases, okay, there are different steps. Okay, let me use jollof rice, for instance. We are all fan of jollof rice, but if anybody not a fan of jollof rice, I'm saying about food, yes, but she may have a process which she will start with when preparing her own jollof rice. Maybe she'll start from step A, step B, step C. Maybe he likes step C first, step B and step A. What I'm saying is they may not have the same approach in making that preparation. But at the end of the day, they may have applied the same steps, but maybe differently. But at the end of the day, they will get what? The end product. Okay? Now, that's how data analysis is. Normally, there's a method that is involved. Okay? A complete methodology, step-by-step process. All you are required to do and not required to do. But the in thing there is what we call critical thinking, like manipulating the whole thing to get your answer. But you follow the right steps, but you may not follow this one the way the person follow it. Now, how you understand that analysis process and that manipulation process if you understand data itself. Okay? You have to understand data itself before you start manipulating it. If I understand it, if I'm having a data that is discrete, that means there are some procedures that discrete data follow that I have to apply. If it's categorical data, there are some procedures that categorical data has that I have to apply. Okay? So once you understand type of data, you've moved one step forward. In fact, if you understand type of data today, if you go out, just call yourself data analyst, have achieved something. If you understand type of data, you just go out here, they ask you, you just say, meet me, my name is Rosemary, and I'm a data analyst. They say, hi, Rosemary. Once you get this concept, because that's the initial standpoint. Now, on a broad sense, you have what we call qualitative and quantitative. Now, another name for qualitative, if you want to use regular term, is categorical. So, qualitative is also called categorical data. Then, quantitative is also called what? Numerical data. So, you can easily record them with those nomenclatures. One is categorical, one is numerical, right? Let's start with the numerical. Numerical does numbers, right? All right. Let me try something with you guys. What is this? Numbers. Then what is this one? So what's the first one? So these are numerals. These are Arabic numerals. These Roman numerals. Okay? They are symbols used to represent numbers. If I can ascribe a unit to this person here, it's a number. So what we used to represent, like if you recall maybe from, in that primary school, that those chewing stick, this ones, something like this. If you open your younger sister or younger brother maths book in secondary or primary school, you see something like this. When you count one, that's one stick. The second one, two sticks. And when it gets to five, you what? Cross it together, that's five sticks. So instead of ascribing, using this as counting numbers, then these symbols you are now replaced with it to easily count them. Instead of counting sticks everywhere, they use this symbol. Now that's just to give you small numerical knowledge. It's not actually why I'm telling you. So in numerical data, we have two types of data under quantitative. One is discrete and one is continuous. Okay? So when I say discrete data, I'm looking at things I can attribute a unit to, things I can count. Okay? Discrete data are countable data, things I can count. I can count this chair, one chair, two chair, three chair. That's discrete. One data analyst, two data analysts, three data analysts, that's what? Discrete. Okay? So they are countable numbers. If I can count them, then it's what? It's discrete. Okay? I can't start 1.5, 0.5. Is that not? Okay? Now, continuous, if I can measure it, is continuous. Okay? The height of everyone in this room, the distance to take you from here to downstairs. Okay? So, countable numbers, discrete. Things you can measure, continuous. Okay? When I can count them, it's discrete. I'm taking measurements, is what? Continuous data. Okay? In most cases, any number you see as whole figures like this are usually discrete. But if you start seeing maybe 20.3, 10.5, there's a continuous line here. Okay? So these ones are called what? Continuous. If you check any calibration or any calibrated equipment, well, let me see your wristwatch. If you look at your wristwatch, it's calibrated back, even yours as well, right? So that the wristwatch was never designed to be, let's say, 1, 2, 3, because you can never have a time as this. There's nothing like this in time. If you're looking at it in real sense, not in conventional sense. In real sense, there's nothing like this. If anything like this happen, everywhere will freeze now. Everywhere will stop moving. But there is seconds, there's microseconds, there's nanoseconds, and there should be other small seconds again, which we don't know their names. Okay? So it's not possible for time to stop. So it's continuous like that. Okay? If you check the measuring tape, okay, you have the first, let's say 1 there, and you start having those continuous line there before you have 2, 3, and so on and so forth. So if it's measurable, it's what's continuous. When we're counting, it is what's discrete. Okay? So are we okay with that? Are you sure we are okay? Can we move on? Because yeah. Sorry? No, this is continuous, yeah.
Numbers.
Yeah.
Like 1, 2, 3, 5.
Yeah, that's if you are attributing it like this. But if I'm assigning it to you, you are 1, right? You are not going to be continuous. If you're not 1.5, well, you're just 1. The person is still 1. The person is still 1. That's discrete. If I take your height, I may get 6'2", 6 something, 5. I'm not getting a single number. Even if some people say just 5, no, it's always an attribute of decimal point behind it. That's continuous. If I take your weight, 20 point something, 30 point something, 40 point something, I'm actually is a continuous decimal line behind it. That's what continuous values. But if I'm counting you now, I'll say 1. That's discrete value. Okay. Now, for qualitative, they are what? Categorical. When we say something is in categorical, they are in what? Categories, right? Now, categorical data are in 2 forms, nominal and ordinal data. Okay? Let me start from ordinal data. Ordinal comes from order. Okay? Order. It means that they come in hierarchy. Okay? Ordinal data comes in what? Hierarchy. That is first, second, third, high income earners, middle income earners, low income earners. Okay? So if you can arrange them in an orderly format, it is what? Ordinal data. Okay? Let me say, for instance, what's the favorite color? Purple. Sorry, what's your favorite color? Blue. Now, so for you, purple is the highest color bar, since it's your favorite color. Okay? For him, he says blue, right? Blue is the highest color. Now, this is what we call nominal case. For she, it's purple. For the person, it's blue. Now, let me ask you, if you go to the university, what's the first level you start with? What's the first level you start with? That's the same thing, but we're getting the same answers now. These are ordinal cases. Okay? You start from 100, 200, 300, 400, and so on and so forth. Okay? But if the category of things I cannot place in that range, it's no longer ordinal, it's nominal data. Ordinal means that I have to count 1 before the other one. It comes in that ordered format or in hierarchy. Okay? So we have, like, the examples we have then, we have first, second, third. One comes before the other one. Grading system, A, B, C. One comes before the other one. The economic status, low, medium, high. One comes for the other. But if you come here in nominal, you see gender, men and women, which one comes first? Abi? So why is it in nominal case? So it should be in ordinal case, right? Abi? Why do man come first? Why do women come first? Huh? You don't catch the vote. No, if you tell me why, I'll agree with you. I'm coming. I want to draw something. Is that other board something? Okay, let me just use this one. So how many says men? How many says women? Huh? Let me see. Let's use a scenario to decide. So there I said remember, women came before me. Women. Rosemary is who? Men, you men. Men are the women. Men, women. You go with men. Somebody will win today. If the person can give me this. This is a local hen. Bah? Which one came before the other one?
We have to ask God.
Hmm?
We have to ask God.
No, like, we didn't ask God for men and women.
And hen comes first. Okay.
Okay, hen comes first before egg. But the hen came from the egg. So how did the hen come first?
No, the egg came from the hen.
So which one came first?
The hen.
The hen. But something laid the egg now. No, the first one. I'm talking about the first one. The first one that came out. Is it the hen? No, scientifically, no. We're looking at scientific issue now. I don't know. If you say the hen that came first, where did the hen came from? And yes, no, let's leave creation, because if we're delving into creation, we're coming back to either men inside and women inside and men. That's where we're getting. Because if we are saying, yeah, married. So maybe this one is maybe take home. Anybody that gets the one that comes first, that person will not change. No, I'm not using this to win the prize of the one that came first. If anybody wants this one, from the day that person wins it, we'll remove gender from here and put it in ordinal. And anything that person chooses will be the highest one. It will not be that person gender that person chose in the next one. So till then, the gender is in what? Nominal data. That is, no one comes before the other one. Okay? So maybe in the next class, if you can get this one, they will now move it to this one. They will now pick the one that can hear. No, that's biblical terms.
But analyze it on your women and men. So women comes first.
No, I put it here, nominal data. So anything I put here does not have hierarchy. Okay? No order. Okay? Just as the issue of the colors. If we start talking about colors or favorite things we like, category of eyes, category of food, category of anything that we like, okay? We have to choose the one we prefer most. There is no way it will be the fact that I like white makes white the top color. The other colors come before it. Okay? So it will have to be a case of I prefer this, is my preference, and so on and so forth. It wouldn't be a case of this one came before this one. But there are category of things that whether we like it or not, this one is first, this one is second, this one is third. Okay? So when you can put them in that hierarchy, it is what? Ordinal data. But if then categories without hierarchy is what? Nominal case. Alright? Do you understand? Can you move forward? Uh-huh. These three people here. Who have heard of these three gentlemen and ladies? As if you've heard of them, the three people here. Data engineers, data scientists, data analysts. Is the head back? Why is it the head? I think these people, they are nominal data. They're not ordinal data.
Because I think they do a lot of work. Like, their work is
No, all of them do a lot of work. Oh. They all do a lot of work. Actually, yeah. So, like, how do you differentiate them? Why do you say they do a lot of work?
I think they pay them higher.
Yeah, they pay. Even there are cases where analysts and scientists in higher as well. Now, they pay them higher in some cases, but let's look at what they do. That's how I want to get here. So, what do you get the brain box? Which was on the brain box? Engineer of the brain box. Why could you give those people so much reference? Why putting them on top? Yeah, the brain box. Okay, let me start from the engineers. The engineers are at the back. Okay? Now, data has to be stored. Data has to be arranged in a particular table, in a particular format. Okay? If I go to Facebook to open an account, someone has built an architecture and makes responsible for me anytime I enter my login details. Out of all the billion users of Facebook, to mistakenly pick someone else's own, it will pick my own and bring it up. Someone is an architecture. Now, check, Facebook has billions of users, but someone designed the way that if I enter my name, my email, mind you, I'm not the only one with that now. And probably through sequence and coding, someone must have even entered that exact thing that you entered. So, but I'll still get, if I enter my password, I'll still get that exact thing I entered. Okay? Or let's take another scenario. Let's look at the banking scenario. Out of all the users, if you go to your mobile app and enter your username and your password, it will retrieve just your information. It won't bring up someone else's account details and paste on your own details and all those things. So these engineers are responsible for designing that architecture. Okay? The process by which data is being stored and retrieved. Let's just call it database process. Some people call them back-end engineers. Okay? So they design that architecture where data can be stored and retrieved. Okay? That is why in most cases it's very tough to get into, because I think you have to come from a computer science background to eventually get into data engineering. Okay? Now, why are they here, or why you work as a team? Both data scientists and data analysts, they need data, or let's say they need big data. Okay? So they require some of the skills that this person has, not the entire skills. Data analyst needs to know how to retrieve and store data in databases using structured query language, that's SQL. Okay, you should be able to import and export data and even do some cleaning using the SQL as well. Okay, now the engineers has to learn the SQL from beginning to the end, because they need to build the architecture completely in a way that you as an analyst or scientist will be able to export data from any database you choose to export it from. Okay, now the major work of the scientists is to design models. Model is a big word for equation. Models to make predictions. Okay, so that's why maybe it looked like when she said their own tool is very tough as well. So for you to design, when I say models, predictive models that can be used to make predictions or forecasting and all that. Data analysts can do that, but to an extent. If you want to become a data analyst or data scientist rather, you after covering all these basic programs, let's say Excel, R, Python, and so on and so forth, you also need, let's say, some deep knowledge in statistics and mathematics to be able to really venture into data science properly. Okay, why? Because their main aim, which these guys also do, is to build and design models. Okay, models that can be used to predict sales, which analysts can do, but to an extent. Okay, there's something called. Let me write it here. Let me write some of the models, but I'm not like going deep into them. I'll just write them and say what they do. Let's say survival analysis, um, response surface model, time series model, machine learning models. There are a lot of them. Let me tell you what some of these things do, so you get a picture of what the scientists do. Survival analysis. You have set of data. It's used mostly by engineers or people in the health sector. Okay, we are looking at probability. If it's engineer, probability of an engine failing. Okay, from the point it has an issue, like when will it fail completely, you never repair it again. Let's say a human being, someone has, let's say, type 2 diabetes or something. What's the probability of that person dying, and how long will it take, or what are the factors that will keep the person so time and so time? Now, for you to make such predictions, you have to employ a lot of mathematical models. Like, for me to come and tell you that this person has this disease coupled with this and this and this, the chances of surviving is what? 2%, 1%, 50%. If I can come out and tell you that, it's either I'm playing God with your magician, or I've done some sophisticated model and mathematical models to be able to give you such information. Okay, so people responsible for what? Using those models to make such predictions are scientists. Analysts comes in sometimes here, on a smaller place, but they come in here, sometimes here as well. But this is not their major aspect. If you're talking about analysts, you are looking at basically they are very good at manipulating Excel, Power BI, Tableau. Okay, then they're also good at, let's say, Python as well and SQL. All right, and they should be able to build some models, especially regression models, which we'll look at in front. We'll look at this. Okay, regression model is, for instance, I have the sales data. Okay, I have sales data on, then let me say, if I have one column, the sales of the goods, and that column, the quantity sold. Okay, I can build a model that I can be using to predict the quantity I will sell when I put a particular price. That's regression. Okay, now this is also predictive analysis, which analysts engage in. Okay, this is strictly, in most cases, scientist's job. But okay, we are going to do XPSS. It's part of the course outline, right? So we can touch this a bit in XPSS to see how it looks like. Response surface model This is usually it is more utilized by engineers that are in quality control processes. That's where this one comes in. So we may touch it in Minitab or something. Time series model, you also need to touch very well. Time series is I have set of data with respect to time. Series. Data with time. So I can use the data with time to predict or make forecast of how it will look like in 5 years time, 10 years time, or 20 years time, and so on and so forth. So all these are what predictive manipulating machine learning models and so on and so forth. So when we are saying models equation, mass equation. Okay, so that's where scientists base on. Most scientists may know one or two things that analysts do. Maybe how to use Excel at some point. But their main focus is using R and Python to build predictive models. Okay, they need the knowledge of the engineer to extract data. That's the SQL knowledge of the engineer. Now the analyst comes in to use Excel, Power BI, Tableau. In most cases, statistical packages like XPSS, Data Minitab, then programming language like R, Python, and all those things. Now, the analyst now, the major area is usually those Excel, Power BI, Tableau. In most cases, that's what, but those are mostly data mining and visualization tools. Mining is just trying to look at what is inside the data. If I'm mining with Excel, maybe I have stored data. I don't have any specific objective. I'm just trying to see what I can find out. Okay, I'll say, let me check the average and see what it means. Let me check male and female and see what is higher. Let me check what happened from January to February and see the month that has much this or lesser this. That's mining. There's a big word for it. You normally put it in all these people that normally put job, whatever specification to confuse people. You're not writing mining there, that looks very big. It's not big something, it's just, I don't have any objective. Let me see what I can get from the data. Now, the analyst uses Tableau and Power BI to visualize data. Let me break it down because now I'm coming from this down to this. So let me break down how we would use those packages you saw on the outline. The first one we have there is Excel, right? We have Excel. Now, Excel is what I call all-purpose tool. You can use it for mining, for visualization, for statistics, for some predictive analysis as well. So it's like all-purpose, everything. Now, Excel builds your foundation or builds your step in getting into other packages. Be it even in Power BI, Excel builds foundation for Power BI. Okay, so it's like the all-purpose tool. It creates that environment for analysts. Like when you have that base with it, you can easily delve into other packages, and that's why it's also longer. Like the timeline for it is longer than the rest of them. So if you now come to visualization, we're now looking at Power BI and Tableau. Tableau came before Power BI. Excel used to have something they call Power Query. Then, on a long run, they had Power Query. They had ZVB or something. Like everything we are seeing in Power BI, they were being forced to be using Excel separately. So Microsoft now brought a new software that will integrate those packages that you do separately. Like you can do what we call dashboard in Excel easily. You can build dashboard, you can create connections in the dashboard. Connection, I mean that if I click one thing in the dashboard, everything will change. If I click a particular year and I have gender and age group, gender will change, year will change. You can do all those things in Excel. But Power BI was now built as a complete software that extracted only visualization and cleaning down to itself, from Excel down to Power BI. It's owned by the same company, Microsoft. Okay, so what Microsoft did was that they just built one software that can do cleaning and visualization. That's what Power BI. Okay, think Tableau is easier than Power BI. Yeah, which one is easier? Tableau or Power BI? I think Tableau is easier than Power BI, but I think Power BI has more capabilities or functions than Tableau. Some people prefer this to this, but maybe when you are done, you choose the one you feel is best for yourself. There are some start packages. That's XPSS from IBM and Minitab. Then from there, you look at database using what? SQL. Then some programming using R and what? Python. So this is basically how this, or why you are doing why you are using all these tools, okay, and what they cover. Excel builds a base for you, okay. Sometimes if you know Excel, most organizations they don't delve into this one. Some organizations, okay, well, let me say it like this: mostly federal government parastatals, almost all of them they use Excel. It's private that actually integrate these other softwares. Let's say people in FRS they use Excel. Okay. So that is this NBS people, Bureau of Statistics, they use Excel. So I think NBS is now using Power BI a bit, but they mostly use Excel for their packages. So it will build a base for everything that you're supposed to do. Okay? The clean you do here, you build it with Excel. The DAX formulas you write here, you build it with Excel. The predictive analysis you see in most of these cases, some of the, we'll call them some inferential analysis you see in these cases too, we will build with Excel. Okay, so when you're done with Excel, you now jump into visualization. Okay, here you also clean and manipulate them, use dashboard to beautify your data and all that. After that, you come to start packages. Okay, these start packages, they are actually like a robust tool that do what this does and what this does. But instead of maybe looking for formulas or looking for codes, you just click on this, it will do this, click on this to do that. Things that will require formula in Excel and will require coding in this aspect. That's what this start package is for. You will just click on this button, click on this one, it will perform the thing for you. But its limitation is that it is only doing that thing that they programmed it to do. For it to go and extend further, you will now start looking at this ones here. Now, SQL is for you to be able to bring out information from database and all that. Okay, down to programming using R and Python. People have thought before they like Python more than R, although me I prefer R to Python. But I think Python is more popular than R. I believe everybody would have heard of Python before R itself. Who is hearing R for the first time? R for the first time. If you don't have R, right? You're hearing for the first time, bro. You're hearing R for the first time. But everybody has heard of Python before because it's everywhere in LinkedIn. Everyone on LinkedIn knows Python. Import matplotlib, pandas, and all those things are important. Okay? So, but to look at it, but to me, I prefer, although maybe I prefer R, maybe probably because it's has ingrained in it all this start stuff than Python.
But that R, what does it stand for?
No, just R. The initial developers called it regression. Okay, but on the long run, when it was bought by people that bought it, they changed it. They just left the R. The same thing happened to XPSS. XPSS has IBM in front of it. The two things has no meaning. It's just IBM XPSS. But XPSS used to have a meaning. Statistical packages for social sciences. Statistical packages for social sciences. A university designed it, but IBM bought it with big money. So when IBM bought it, they refused to change the name since it was already been out there in the public. So to allow them market it well, they left it like that. That's how most products, if you check, most of the products we use are from one brand. Maybe just to have different names and like this IBM, they have a lot of packages, but you know that they own it. Some they won't even put IBM, you think you are doing them by not buying it. But you are still buying their product. Just like Picnic and Trekram. It's owned by the same company. You know, but Volkswagen, Bentley, Porsche, Ferrari, they are owned by Volkswagen. So they just use that to it's something in business I don't know. Yeah, I think Python is high. Popular demand is Python, but it depends on some people, some areas will ask you for R, some ask for Python, but Python is high in demand due to the fact that the program is okay. Is new. 2005 is new now. Something like 2005. No, it's new compared to other programming languages. Java and the rest of the C, all those ones, low level language, they came out in the 70s and in the 60s and the 50s. So 2005 for a programming language is new. So okay, till date, programmers have not still seen the full capabilities of Python. That's why I say they've not completed for their back end. Website people use, DevOps they use it, data science use it. So it's all purpose, like that's why it's more in demand actually, but it's more popular because it's not just data science or data analysis. A lot of other areas is okay. But someone developing websites will use Python. Someone doing back end will use Python. Someone doing app will use Python. Someone doing Python. So maybe that's why it's more in demand. But R is specific. It's only one thing. Data analysis and what? Data science. It's not jumping from one side to another. So Python is actually more in demand. But everything you can do with Python, I can also do it with R. Yeah.
Like when you want to extract or analyze data from a system that is built with a particular language, can you analyze and extract data with different languages?
A system. That's
Like a website, data that's like a website or an app that is built maybe with let's say Python now, and you want to extract and analyze data from it with R.
No, you can't extract with okay, Arrow, if you are importing to Arrow, there are some specific database that it accepts or it can get it from. That's why you have SQL. If it doesn't work with R, you can get it with SQL. Then clean it, transform it to the one R can work with, then import it in R. Okay, most of these packages they have like specific type of data that can call into them. Some they can't call into them, have to clean it before you bring it to them. For example, okay, let me use Power BI for instance. Power BI has several sources. It's unexhaustive. But something like SPSS, I think Excel file can enter, CSV file can enter, CSV same thing with text file, they can enter. But I think SAS files can enter. Anything apart from that file won't enter again. Unless you import it using another medium, then clean it, then bring it in. So something like Excel can import even if it's PDF files. You can import PDF files in Excel, transform it, and use the data. So if you have that case in R, you have to use that structured query languages to import, clean, then take it to R. So I think that's why you have all of them there, so that when this one is failing, this one will come up and revive that one. All right, so this is what I just explained to you. We'll go. If I send you to slide, you can just go through them. What I was discussing about what data analysis is. So this is the basic role of a data analyst, starting from data collection or retrieving down to cleaning. When you analyze, then interpret your results. Now, I will send this to you. I will send this slide to you. Now, the first step is to get data, right? When I say collection, it comes from different angles. Okay, the one we've been discussing since is database, right? How you get them from a database. That one we'll be discussing all this while. But that's not the only place you get data from. Okay, database is what we call secondary data source. I think the next slide actually talks about sources of data. Database is secondary data. We have primary data. They are all embedded in collecting data. Okay? If you're collecting secondary data, it's already stored in the database for you to retrieve. The primary data are the ones you get directly from the source, the main source. Now, that is mostly in NGO cases. Okay? No NGOs, but they conduct survey. Why I'm bringing it in here is that this program is designed for everybody that is delving into data analysis. Okay, whether you are delving into it in the business area, health area, financial area, and so on and so forth, we are supposed to touch all those particular scenarios for the whole stuff. It's not. I think it's one-on-one classes that are specific. That okay, if I come to one-on-one class, I want to do the analysis with respect to so area. That's different. But this program is designed to look at it in all areas. Survey being one of them. Conducting surveys. Now, you know about survey tools like questionnaire or interviews and all those things. So these are data analysis tools as well to collect data. You can use that language for it, but they are basically called survey tools. You know how questionnaire works, right? Well, I don't think they're still, are they still manual questionnaires? I don't think so. Manual questionnaire. Okay, okay. But you have ODK. Example is Google Forms. You know Google Forms, what? Maybe Kobo tools of their own. Then Microsoft has theirs too. And there's Microsoft Forms as well. But not Google Forms. Yeah, I think some HR people can say with safety. Some HR people use it for their collecting of data. So yeah, mostly these are primary data. Any type collecting this format are primary data. Now, the question now is this: is it the job of the data analyst to be going around to collect data? That may not be true, but it is the job of the data analyst to ensure that those data that are collected are actually designed properly, or that these tools can actually be used towards extract information. Now, if we are going to collect data for a survey, at the end of the day, that information collected or that data collected should be able to solve some objective of that survey, true or false. But if the questions or the informations we put in the tool are not properly structured, you will not use it for any meaningful thing. Okay? Now, this is what I mean. You want to conduct a survey. and you put out these forms. At the end of the day, the forms came back to you as the analyst, but you can't do anything with it. We've seen such cases like these tools were not designed properly to get any meaningful information. But when they came back, the way they are structured, the way, for example, now, if, although sometimes Power BI can help with that, but it's not all the time. If I have option A, let's say those data engineers or data this, and I put option A, put if you're a data analyst, B, engineer, C, um, scientist. Okay, then probably I'll put D, others, right? Then specify that others. Don't be surprised. You will see fun. You will see agriculture technician. You can see anything there. Okay. Now, how do you, as an analyst, make sure that these informations are collected in a way that it will properly suit the essence of the analysis? You can decide to make this a close-ended question, right? That means only data analysts, engineers, and scientists can what? Answer these questions. Okay? If you like to make it open-ended, you should be ready and prepared in analysis to clean this data and forget about everything they specified here and call all of them others. If you really wanted to include other people in the category, you can prepare yourself that in this analysis, that means you have to create room. They will look at those things in front when you're looking at something in Excel and XPSS. You have to create room for bias. Okay? I will define all those terms so we get there. But what I'm saying here is that collection aspect. In most cases, if you are with NGOs or those bodies or even some private as well, you have to understand how these informations are to be collected. And how you understand them is that previous thing I stated before. If you understand data properly, you understand how the question should be constructed. Because if it's coming back to you, you have to know that, okay, these ones are going to be numerical, and I'm supposed to do this and this with them. That means the question should be like this. This one will be categorical. I'm supposed to perform this analysis here, this year, so the question should look like this. So when it's come back, I'll be able to perform this analysis, right? So the essence of this is being able to understand how these data are to be what's collected. If you understand how they are collected, then you should be able to understand how the analysis should be done. In most cases, okay, like there was this, I used to be in Niger State, I was with these people. I did one job with, what do they call it? MSH and I think UNICEF. If UNICEF are designing a tool, UNICEF, they use COBOL tools. If you are designing a tool, it is compulsory that that person that will finally calculate those things and analyze that thing will be there when you're designing that tool. If you like, be any gist. Doctors like all those gists, ophthalmologists, nephrologists, any gist you are behind the name of your doctor specification or medical specification. An analyst must be there to understand what you are collecting. Okay? Because you may enter everything you enter there, at the end of the day, you will not bring, there's no results. Okay? So the analyst must be there to understand how this thing is going to come forth so that when he or she is analyzing, they will know what to do. That's where that collecting part comes in. Okay? It's not going house to house, knocking on their door to collect data. Okay, those, I think there's another name for them. Okay? I think that there's also something called data entry technicians. Something I don't know if you've heard of that. Have you heard of it? Data entry technicians.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah,
I used to think they are entry level.
No, they enter data. It's like an ad hoc work or something like that. Yeah, you don't come to the analysis with this. You're welcome. What's your name? Sorry? Kazem. ZK. Okay, you're welcome. I'm Fidel. You didn't join us on time. Okay, no problem. The next person on Wednesday, right? So just, I'll send the slide at the end of the class so you see what we. All right, you're welcome. So those people, they don't have any other special this thing. Just that their work is not much. So after you collect data, usually it will be messed up, even the one you retrieve from database. Okay. Sometimes when you retrieve like that instance you gave, if you are importing a particular format to another format to get it to be completely scattered. Okay, so you spend time to make sure that they are formatted properly. In fact, as a data analyst, so if you whichever one it is, see that cleaning part, you spend like 60-70% of your time doing that cleaning aspect. Okay, why? Because a lot of things go wrong during data collection. A lot of things go wrong. Let me give you an instance. Which date is this? A cousin. Oh, second of what? May. Which one will you call it? 2nd of May, but what if it's 5th of February? So there's a possibility that this can be an issue. So you start cleaning, usually date formats. Sometimes data will come in like this. Maybe if people are filling the data, somebody can say this, and that funny person might not come in like this. One person that is so funny again will write his own like this. These are two different formats. Okay, you have to clean them to either be in this format, or this format. Because longer data is concerned, these three things are different. Okay? Sometimes when you import data from PDF, you don't have excess spaces, either from the beginning or the end of the data. And when those data are in softwares like XPSS, they used to count that spaces as part of your data. That's if you don't train to remove all those excess spaces. Like some soft, like in the column or in the width of the column. Like this is the column now. Maybe instead of this printer start from here, it now started from here. Okay, so there's an excess space here. Some packages we see this as either number or decimal point or comma or something, but they'll see it as something. Okay, so all these things when you are importing, especially when you're working with big data, when you import them from databases or when you put them through survey, you experience a lot of things that are scattered in the data. Okay, that's one aspect of cleaning. That's to say that cleaning also doesn't mean that it has to be scattered. Maybe data is not arranged to the way you want it. Okay, these are two things now. One is the date format is not correct. There's excess space, capital letter. There is the 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 line in between the column and the first column has difference between this cell and this cell and all those things. That's one aspect. And that aspect is I want to do a particular analysis with this data, but it's not formatted with that thing I want to do. Not that data is anything wrong with the data, but the format does not conform to what I want to do. Let me change the format to what I want to. That's also cleaning. Okay, like that scenario I gave you. If I have data analysts, data scientists, this and others, but I want to work with others, let me just put everything that they wrote inside all the data that they have inside what others. That's cleaning as well. Okay, so it's either you are trying to format it properly, that remove anything that is wrong with it, or you want to use it in a particular format that suits you. It comes in years, but no, I want to see everything in months. Okay, so you can change it from what years to what months. Okay, it comes with numerical age, like they say the age came like this. Somebody was 25, 30, 11, 12, 50, and so on and so forth. Okay, but I want to see them in groups. So I will reformat it in a way to change to what ordinal group. Maybe I will say, okay, from 10 to what, 20, 21 to what, 30, and so on and so forth. This also cleaning. It's okay, but you want to format it in a way that it will suit your objective. So that's the two things you encounter in cleaning. Okay? Or the two broad things, because there are still things under them you see in cleaning. So when you are done with that, you come to the analyzing parts, okay, which are several techniques that we'll look at. Okay? After you analyze, we interpret your results, which also has principle. Now, the analysis part will take either of those forms. Okay? Either you take the descriptive form, the diagnostic form, predictive, or prescriptive. Now, the foundation is usually descriptive. Okay? Sometimes analysis will start with descriptive and end with it. Okay? Sometimes your main thing is the predictive aspect. This is what you want to do. Okay? But you need to do some descriptive to see some little things. That means you start from descriptive down to your predictive. Okay? Sometimes it requires a complete project from descriptive to this to this to the last one. But the most basic thing is what? Descriptive. Descriptive is as simple as saying describe the data. I can just, like, if I say, okay, in this room now, describe data. We have 3 male and what? 4 females. I've described it. Okay? The average number of people that come every week, I've described it. Okay? The average time people come to the class, what is it? I can now calculate, okay, these people came by 9 today. Yesterday they came by 8, this, and I add everything together. Divide by the number of times. I will not get the average time they come every day. I've described it as well. Okay, so it's as simple as just describing the data. How many color is white? How many color is blue? 5 is white, 3 is blue. Okay, so it is just telling you what is happening at the moment, or what's happening in data. Let me not use moment in the data per se. Okay, now diagnostic is an extension of descriptive. It's still under descriptive, but most cases they normally try to break it out of descriptive because it's done after descriptive and it's still descriptive that you will do. Okay? So let's say I'm working on a yearly data. Let's say from year 2000 to 2022. And 2005 is low. And that's okay. Why is 2005 low? I'll now extract only 2005 data and maybe conduct it in months and see, okay, which month was low. The same thing I did in the entire data. Let me illustrate what I'm saying. And so on and so forth. Okay, so let's say this is a line graph and there's a slope here. This one was done in this particular year. So the question now comes up, why is this place down? We've described it. Okay, maybe with these are the sales. This is the year. Why is this one down? We will not pick only 2005 and do what? January to December with the sales of 2005 and see the particular month that was low there. Okay, they can still go down again and see the particular people that sold that month, or maybe the area that they did the sales, or the salesperson or anything, but we just begin deep to what happened. We are still using the techniques of what? Descriptive. Okay, so diagnostic is just like a step further from descriptive, or digging deeper into the data, but you're still using descriptive techniques. Okay, now predictive is, as I explained before, using all those survivor time series and the rest of them, using historical data to predict how or what will happen in front. Okay, that's predictive. You use what we call historical data and predict how it will look like maybe in 2, 3, 4 years time. Now, prescriptive is usually what you recommend. Or, okay, we've seen it to be this way, so this is what we are going to recommend. Okay, so what's happening here now? We are doing what data analysis class. Okay, so why we are doing it is because we want to gain knowledge in data analysis. Okay, so what is expected is that after these 6 months, we must have gathered enough knowledge in data analysis. Okay, so it's now recommended to what put in our best in the class to what get that outcome. You know what I did? I was saying what happened, why we are here, what we expect, and recommendation, what we should do. So that's like a summary of what we are doing data analysis. Okay, what happened, why we are doing it, how we are going to be in front. Okay, so we will take them one after the other. After we are done with advanced Excel, we'll start with descriptive down to prescriptive. So what I explained earlier about data, when I told you that there's secondary data, which is from database, and there's primary data, which is from different survey, and I also told you why you need to be involved so that the outcome of the collection will actually suit the analysis you want to perform. Okay? Yeah. 11? There's no problem. Oh. So I was actually talking about this as well, right? The cleaning. We've explained this, right? You got what the clean aspect is. So now, the whole process requires a lot of practice. Let me use that word, a lot of practice. Okay? This whole thing I'm talking about now, when we get into it, it will require a lot of practice for you to perfect what you are doing. Okay? Now, the class will be taken by 2 instructors. 2 instructors will take the class. Okay? Yeah. 2 instructors will take the class. 2 instructors, 2 teachers.
Sorry, the online class, no time yet. Are they going to be through the platform?
It's online already.
On Wednesday class, is it online or physical?
Every day is online, but like if you are streaming from online, you can stream online, but you can
Okay,
also
but
do
I
it
can
physically.
also, okay. So, all
The
right.
only that it's online for everybody is on Fridays.
Okay. So Wednesday is
Fridays. Yeah, no, you won't be coming on Friday. You'll be here Monday and Wednesday. Then everybody will be online on Fridays.
What about Tuesday?
No, it's 3 days a week, so you have time in between to practice the stuff. On Friday, yeah. No, you're not coming on Friday. You'll be online on Friday. So what I was saying is the class will be taken by 2 instructors. Okay, myself and herself. Okay, so what we did now was just the basic overview of the whole stuff, but you have to start with Excel. That's the first package. But before delving into it, I don't know how many experts do you have in Excel. Out of intermediates before basic. Huh? Excel is hard. Mr. Henry, what do you think? Is it hard? Okay, let me no, okay, let me ask everybody. Let me do a skill. Okay, let me see. Where's your own here? In Excel. You're going back. Could I have minus? No. You get the name, okay? How about you there? Okay, what is one? Rosemary. Five. Okay, we'll have five. That's nice. Okay. Two. One. Henry. Okay. So, yeah, what was it? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's what you start with. You start with Excel. So, please, your instructor is here. She's hearing what you're saying, so she will know what to do. So you have to build that knowledge first before we move into the main part. So when you start with the Excel, that means you have to do some basics. Now we're not doing, I won't say advanced again. When you start with some basics, so when you start with some basics, then advanced, then you will do some cleaning with Excel, some mining with Excel. Then I'll come back to the class to look at okay, I will look at from descriptive. Okay, I'll be teaching Excel with descriptive and stats at the same time. That's statistics. Okay, so no, it's not maths. It's just small answer. It's small things. Okay, let me explain the maths. It's not maths per se. Let me put it this way. I'm not going to teach you like, let's say, maths. I'm not coming to write formulas. You have two part or two part. But the thing is this: as an analyst, you have to understand why you are doing what you are doing. Okay, that's when I say maths. I'm trying to use those start concepts to explain to you why you are doing what you are doing. Okay, but start is the simplest topic you can come across. When you learn it here, you others mean to become simple. Trust me, if we get into it, you understand that you say, is this what they were saying in maths that I ran away? Okay. So you won't see anything run away. So that's what we'll look at it. Basically, start and with Excel and all that. We'll build that foundation with it. So when I'm done with that, then can I continue with your visualization? So I'll come back with the packages again. Okay. So begin, but I'm here. That's if I run away. I'm here. I'm just inside there. So I didn't run. I'm still together with you here. So yeah, but I don't want you to see the stats is very. This economist guy will be my co-tutor with the stats because I think he has yeah, something like that. But it's not hard. It's not hard. We'll do it in a way that it will be beneficial. Yeah, I have the masters in stats. My master's in statistics, so it's simple. No, I have female colleagues. Okay, online. They want to ask us. Okay, let's hear from them. See? No, let them go. Okay, those join us online. Do you have any questions so far? All right. So, if while you are, like I say, I'm still here. While you are learning your Excel, you can still be. If you have any questions, you still be seeing me. I'm just inside there. So it won't be anything. You learn it sweetly. Okay. So on Wednesday, you start with the Excel. Okay. Everybody's laptop is a PPT. Now that was not an issue. We all have it in our laptops. Yeah, yeah. No, 2019, 2020. Okay.
Like we are coming for
There's no X lookup. No, it's not 2019. We can give it to them. Yeah. Your Mac is it partitioned or it's just like does it have windows in it?
I've downloaded some.
But let me see. Just let me see. Let me see your own.
You want to be the application to register to be able to get it from.
I'll have to ask you.
Because I don't have any of it.
Okay. So I didn't get what you just asked now. Oh, this is no, this is still the Windows aspect. They normally partition it to have Windows and Mac in one system. You start with this one first. This one's are okay. Then before we get that, I should be able to get these guys to be able to partition it. You can use Mac as well. Okay. No, let's it's coming. Okay, yours is 2016.
There's nothing on this laptop. This laptop
Okay,
is just empty. Like, it's actually for myself. I don't know if they told you that I was maybe that they said they'll give laptop to practice. So this I just took for myself. So I was one that
okay.
they wrote, yes.
Oh, sorry about that. No, it's okay. If it's loading, just tell me. Let me see.
Picture of it,
If you have 221, it should be good.
I don't know why.
Which one do you have? 2007. No wonder you're not using the Excel. 219, okay, you have to do it. At least you can, everybody here can start basic with what they have, but you have to get yours installed. Uh, Everybody here can start for basic with what they have as we move forward. I think we'll have to upgrade them to 2021. Okay? But we'll have to start with this one. But you can, everything you need for basic is already with you there. Yeah, if you can get it before then, fine. If you can't get it, you can also install it here. But if you can get it before, to be on the safe side. Like if you have the, now I said, what you have, which one do you have? 20 what? Your Microsoft is which year?
I don't have my
Wow, okay. Yeah. Yes, you have to
I
install.
have only one. I installed only one.
It works like that. You can install only one of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you guys trying to install this inside?
Yeah, you can get it installed. Although I don't know if they're around today, but you can have it installed. So I don't know if anybody has any other question before I call it a day. Yeah, I'm just waiting for your questions if you have any. Okay, there's no question. So, but that means you have to give me feedback if there's no question. How did you find it? How was your first class? How did you find your first class? Are you going to make it in this area? Will you come on Wednesday? Will you come to the 6 months finish? No, I just want to go. I'm just just a general feedback. Let me just know how your class went. Let me start from the front. There is personal feedback. I'm coming. I'll to go around. Okay.
Bread was up.
Okay.
What was still there?
You will make it.
It was bread.
Yeah, you will make it. All right, let me hear your own feedback.
I enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you. So we'll see you continuously. Inshallah. Yeah. No, I trust you. International relation like you. But how was the class for you? You got what we did today. All right. Okay. We let you get the evening, no? Not
Like,
evening.
I wanted to say that
Uh,
one feedback.
I got it.
Now you got it. Okay, so I think the class has been awesome. So,
Okay. All right. Thank you. So next time,
I think I get it.
all right. So we'll all see your faces bright and early on Wednesday, right? All right. Thank you very much. Kazim, you got us early on, so we can ask your feedback too. All right. All right.
I have a feedback.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question. Why can't we just waste the time frame for it? Because it's
Like
like 10,
10 or even
because
11.
we have kids.
Okay. No.
It's just like I
Okay.
have
No, the thing is, we have other programs still having the same group classes. Like another one is supposed to start immediately now by 11. So I have to accommodate those time. Yeah. Okay. All right. There's one.
how about giving us
Yeah,
some
yeah.
days, giving us some days to be later and some days to be early. Like Tuesday can be,
No, we don't do Tuesdays.
I mean Wednesday, sorry, not Tuesday. Like Wednesday can be 11 to 1.
No, no, what I'm saying, and that class is holding here
Let
by
them
law.
give them running.
No, they already have their program time. They already program time 9 to 11, 11 to 1. It's already programmed that way. You can't just, it's already programmed.
Because today I already started sending messages that
We are not going to bear all the burdens.
No, like, what I'm saying is, if we look at it that way, some of them may even be seen that 11 as burden to themselves.
So
The other classes we are going to, we're not the only one using the hall for the
it's
class.
it's burden already to us. We have to share the burden.
No, what I'm saying is, it may be burden to some other people having it by 11 to 1 o'clock.
So it's
Okay?
not a burden to us.
No, what I'm saying is this. The courses have been programmed. You have this class 9 to 11 and 11 to 1 for the other classes. Now, if you say you want to be swapping it may cause some frictions in some areas, some other people.
You can now
So,
you can table it.
no, I can tell you, yeah, I heard you say, but what I'm saying, you just have to just bear with us and just manage.
So I'll give my hand every at 8.
and I asked somebody that just
No, it's just 3 days now. It's just 2 days.
Thinking about it,
No, it's just those 2 days. Just those 2 days. Just give us those that 2 days. I'll deliberate on it, but just give us that 2 days.
okay, this one
This
not
evening,
just today. How
please.
come it?
Now, your numbers are, yeah, so that we'll have a WhatsApp group. No, I don't know if they're with your numbers, but I don't know if it's your WhatsApp numbers. Okay, are they ready to group already?
Yes.
So we can maybe if you go to the front desk, just add it to the group so that I can send you that group. Just make the front desk there. Um,
No, it's my own. I want to.
I mean, now because it's dark, I was like, okay, fine, stop a bit. So when we were going to that approach, the guy just stopped. No, I cannot start. There was nobody there. Just say again and stop. Okay, just stop. Just go another place. I'm like,
Was it your private
about conditional or ternary operators is that you can nest them within each other, which gives them even more power. So we're going to write a function here. The function is check the sign. It is going to return the string positive if this number is positive.
Which one is so?
No, but for you to have stopped there, there's a connection. Yeah, the
I'll give you now. Okay, enjoy your time. I know you're already eating me. See, that's it.
This is working again. I don't know now. We have not been in the area of a life. It's not connected. Right? So how would I connect it? You can see, you won't shake him. You won't shake him. Come and check. He's shaking. Good morning. Is it connected? Okay, back now. We're gonna check. The sound is not here again. Sound is not here. Is it sound or what are you? No, no, no. Like, you know, you made a review. No, I don't think I don't understand. But don't worry, everything. Don't worry. Okay.
Let me see this one.